Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Tynese Cunningham, the Elite Realtor. And as always, it is my goal to educate and inform you with all things real estate. Today I'm going to be talking about, am I ready to be a homeowner? Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Homeownership. Am I ready to buy a home? I get asked this a lot by my clients. And what I always say is, well, let's ask yourself a few questions to determine if you are ready for homeownership. But before I go into what those questions are, I want to talk about the pros and cons of being a homeowner. Now, there aren't too many cons that I can think of, but if I had to pull something out, currently, as a renter, if you have some type of repair that's required, let's say your roof starts to leak or your dishwasher stops working, you call your landlord. They set it up, they make the repairs, they pay for it, you have nothing to worry about. When you own that home, that repair cost is on you. That's really the only con that I can think of. Let's talk about some of the pros. Some of the pros of owning a home. You have no landlord. You are now building equity, paying money into a home that will be yours. As the king or queen of your castle, if you want to remodel, you want to tear down all the walls, paint everything green, go for it, it's yours. For my pet families out there, you don't have pet rent, it doesn't matter what size your dog is or do you have a cat, it's your home. Get 2, get 3. You're building a legacy. If you want to have this home to pass on to your kids, your grandkids, it's your home that you're building equity into. You are not paying anyone else's mortgage, you're paying your own mortgage. Take advantage of the tax breaks. So when I look at home ownership, pros and cons, I say, let's see if it's time for you. So when you are deciding and you're asking yourself some questions whether or not you're ready for home ownership, you have to ask yourself, do I have a good credit score? Is it worthy of getting financing? Do I have enough money saved for down payment? Do I have a stable job with stable income? And will I have enough money for closing costs? So when you ask yourself, can I afford a home? You have to think about your debt. Does your debt make up less than 43% of your income before taxes? If so, you're in a good place. Now, this equation is referred to as your DTI. If you've done any research, you've probably seen this. This is your debt to income ratio. And what it looks like, here's an example. Let's say you make $6,000 a month. Before taxes, if your rent and things that you owe to things like creditors, okay, does not exceed $2,580 a month, then you're in good standing, okay? That is if you're following the 43% debt to income ratio. Now, it's a good rule of thumb, but it's important to remember that this does not include your daily living expenses, things like your car insurance, utility costs, your monthly savings plan. So you want to factor all that. You need to factor all that in because that will not be factored into whether or not you can afford your monthly mortgage. So you want to make sure that you can comfortably live outside of your monthly mortgage payment. So let's talk credit score. Now, building and maintaining good credit is always an advantage whenever you want to purchase anything, house, car, or anything, right? Now, if you're not paying all cash for your house, you're going to need to get financing. And the type of financing that is afforded to you is directly tied to your credit score. The higher the credit score, the lower your interest rate and your monthly payment. Now, conventional loans typically require a minimum credit score of 620. But a higher credit score of, say, 740 will afford you a much lower interest rate. If you have some credit issues, your credit score isn't that good, FHA loans are perfect for you. FHA loans require a minimum of a score of 500, but that comes with a much higher interest rate. Now, let's say you're looking for agricultural land or you are a veteran. The USDA or VA loan would be perfect for you. USDA loans and VA loans don't necessarily have a minimum credit score, but I will talk about loan types in a little bit. Now, if you don't know what your credit score is, and if you haven't seen your full credit report, we're all afforded a free credit report that you can get from all three bureaus, to include Experian, TransUnion, and Experian. That's Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. It doesn't show just your credit score, it shows all of the activity that happens. So it's really good to take a look at that. That way you can determine whether or not you have any errors on your credit report and have those expunged to help boost your overall credit number. If you have not done so before, go to annualcreditreport.com and have that pulled. Now let's talk down payment and closing costs. Your down payment is what you pay to your lender. You pay it up front and it's one lump sum. Depending on your loan type, your down payment could range anywhere from 0 to 3.5%. Now your closing costs, those are different. Closing costs will typically be between 2 to 6% of your total loan amount. And it's going to include your one-time lender fee and title fee. But also it's going to include your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance. Now those are ongoing monthly expenses, but you don't see them so much because they're kind of wrapped up into your monthly mortgage that you pay every single month. Now let's talk loan types. Now there are quite a few loan types out there, but I'm just going to touch on the most common. You have conventional loans, you have FHA, VA, USDA, and DPA. Now with conventional loans, they aren't insured by any government agencies and they typically require at least a 3% down payment. So if you're looking for stable, low monthly payments, you may qualify for a conventional loan if you have at least a 620 credit score, you have a stable monthly income, and you have enough for that 3% down payment. Now there's also something called a conventional ARM. The conventional adjustable rate mortgage, the ARM, is the acronym that you may hear. And it's a good option if you need a lower monthly payment for a set period of time, but you plan to refinance or sell that home before that introduction rate expires. So that could be a good option as well. Now, FHA loans, those are loans that are backed by the Federal Housing Administration. And with FHA loans, down payment amounts vary, again, based on your credit score. If you have a credit score between 580 and 619, you can get away with about 3.5% down. Now, if your credit score is between 500 and 579, you'd be required to pay closer to 10% down. Now, there are two types of loans that don't require any down payment. Those are VA and USDA. VA loans are backed by the Department of Veteran Affairs. And if you've served in the military long enough to be eligible for a VA loan, and or if you don't want to put down a down payment, VA loans are great for you. USDA loans are good if you are buying a home in a USDA designated rural area, you earn a low to moderate income, and you don't have the funds for a down payment. Now, in some instances, there is down payment assistance available, and that's through various programs, which varies depending on the state that you live in. Now, you might be asking which loan type is best and do I qualify for a DPA? Choosing the right one depends really on your individual scenario or individual situation. Visit my Facebook page to determine whether or not you qualify for a DPA. On my Facebook page, there is a link that asks various questions and to determine whether or not a DPA is going to be right for you. Now, just like with anything else, finding the best rates requires you to shop around. You want to get at least 3 quotes before making a determination which type of loan is going to be best for you. You're going to want to shop 3 different lenders, and you're going to want to get those quotes all on the same day because rates can change daily. You want to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. You want to get a pre-approval, which you can do online after being vetted by a lender and determining that you do meet certain requirements. The lender is going to provide you with a pre-approval letter And in that pre-approval letter, it's going to have all of the criteria underlying the loan amount and the interest rate. Now, you want to locate a realtor. You want to locate a realtor that knows the area. It's going to help you navigate the market. Now, a good realtor can always help you find a good lender if you haven't done that process already. Now, once you've completed all the financial vetting and you have financing secured and you've located your ideal home, the due diligence process of inspections and appraisals, all of which your realtor will help you navigate through, all of that begins. During this time, you can expect to be given a list of needed items by your lender to gather and to provide documentations needed before closing on your home. Now, documents like pay stubs and bank statements and the other required document, all based on your individual scenario or history. But it's super important that you be timely and you present all of these documents when required. This is going to help to mitigate any delays in your closing. Now, prior to closing day, about 3 days before, you're going to receive all of your closing documents. Super important that you read all of your documents thoroughly. And you want to review it because it has your closing costs all broken down. And of course, again, your realtor can help you navigate through all of that so that nothing is missed and that you're prepared for everything leading up to the day of closing. Now, as the days move on, your realtor is going to schedule your final walkthrough. And that's going to happen the day before closing just to make sure everything is as it should be. The day of closing, be prepared to sign a mountain of paperwork. Be prepared to pay your final closing costs. Your final funds are going to be distributed to your seller and your lending institution. And once all of the financial transfers have been completed, you get the keys to your new home. Welcome to home ownership.